And if you just want to look at Jason,
Why can't I look at you?
he's much prettier.
Okay. No comment.
All right. Well, first of all, Manny, can you spell your name, give your title?
Sure. I'm Lieutenant Munoz. Last name spelling M-U-N-O-Z.
So what can you tell us about this incident?
Shortly before 11 o'clock p.m., we had several calls come into the dispatch center regarding shots fired at the intersection of 11th and Lawrence. While officers were en route, they gave the address right across the street right here, which is 1145. They advised that they had somebody had been shot and potentially one of the victims was being loaded up in the vehicle to be transported to a hospital by private vehicle. Officers were able to get here quickly and determine that there were actually 2 victims that were shot, 2 male victims. They were transported to a local hospital for treatment. At this time, their condition is unknown. A short time later, dispatch called and advised that another victim had showed up at St. Francis Hospital, also with non-life-threatening injuries. And there's currently officers down there trying to determine what happened. The reason we had such a large amount of officers on the scene, once the officers got here, they had some people that were unruly and were causing a disturbance, and they were afraid that the disturbance was as a result of what had happened here. So they asked for officers to respond emergency, and so therefore that's why you have such a large number of law enforcement cars here. The situation has been stabilized right now. We're going to go ahead and hold this crime scene till we can determine or process the scene. We got detectives that have been already here and they're en route to the hospital to interview the victims, and pretty much that's all the information that I have right now.
Really quick, want to clarify. You said the third victim has non-life-threatening injuries.
Correct.
You said as well, though.
Correct.
So the other 2, though?
Are non-life-threatening from what we could tell here.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So 3 non-life-threatening
Yes,
injuries.
sir.
Okay, gotcha.
And just to be clear, at this time, are you looking for any suspects or moving parts on this?
Right now, the only vehicle description that we have is a dark color 4-door and a green Honda Civic. They were last seen driving northbound out of the area. We couldn't get a lot of we could not get a lot of witness information. One witness said they thought it might have been young Hispanic juveniles, and that's all we had.
What about the victims? Can you tell us about ages or?
They appear to be very young Hispanic males, at least the 2 that were here. I don't know about the third one that showed up at the hospital, but they appear to be very young, potentially in their teens or very early 20s.
Okay. And really quick on the first car, you said a 4-door.
It's just a dark black 4-door and a green Honda Civic. Both were last seen northbound.
Car or truck or SUV, sorry?
Cars, that's all they were telling us,
Gotcha.
cars.
Any idea at this time on what instigated this?
We don't know. I can tell you right now that there was a lot of family members that showed up, and obviously the family was very upset and concerned about the well-being of their family members. So we're not getting a lot of them, a lot of information from them. A lot of them, some of them are still here. Some of them went to the hospital to be with their loved ones.
And you mentioned a disturbance earlier. Can you elaborate a bit on what exactly is causing the disturbance?
We don't know. The call initially came out that there were shots fired here, so it came out as a disturbance. And then once we were en route, then dispatch was notified that there were actual victims here. And once the officers got here, they determined there were actually 2 victims here.
And what do we know about the connection or the relationship between the victims?
We don't. We don't at this point.
And did the shooting happen, inside, outside, in the car?
It happened right here. If you can see right here, one of them was right here, and the other one was somewhere over there. So everything happened on this side.
But outside of the house?
Yes, sir, from what I understand.
And do we know who, not specifically their name, obviously, but the relationship to the person that called and said that people were being transported?
We don't know because there were never several calls that came in. So once we can get with dispatch and download all that information, we'll be able to determine who made the phone calls and what part they played into this.
So we know 2 were
There
trying
were
to be
several.
transported, and then 1 other person that showed up at a hospital.
Correct. So we have a total of 3 victims confirmed right now.
All right, really quick, Manny, on one other last thing. First of all, have it outside. I see several things over here. Is everybody stationary, or was this a drive-by? And then last question I got, potentially gang-related?
I don't know about that. That has not been confirmed. Some of the people are very uncooperative at this point.
Thank you.
Uncooperative, are you like people in response here or people back here? Or?
Some of the people that were out here that were witnesses, and then some of the people that showed up actually. So we don't know if they were relatives, friends, what's going on, but some of them were very uncooperative.
Manny, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
You're welcome. Sorry it took so long, but I was
That's okay.
trying to figure out what's going on.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Be safe.
Thank you.
All right, folks. So again, that's the update we have from Lieutenant Manny Munoz, who's of the Topeka Police Department. And again, this shooting had happened outside the residence here.